Peterson later on today? Oh, we're just keeping it casual.
That's what waits for all of us in the old folks' home. Doing puzzles in the air. Cavs basketball is tonight. Our playoff tickets for you are gone, all scooped up. You'll hear the game on WTAM 1100. 7 o'clock is tip-off at the Romo Fijo before they head back to Boston for Game 5. 6:30 is when that pregame will begin. Guardians here on the Buzzard tonight. They start up in Texas against the Rangers. First of 3 is tonight at 8:05, and they'll come back home to host the Twins. And then the Mets will show up in town. So 8:05 tonight, 7:35 is pregame on the Buzzard. You can also listen on the iHeartRadio app. Brother ADX.
Hey, Alan, I know you remember Z-Rock from 1986-87. You remember the song Kinko the Clown?
Kinko, like Kinko's copies? Kinko the Clown?
Spelt almost exactly like that. It's the funniest song, way funnier than Hello Mother, Hello Father.
Well, I remember Kinko the Clown, though. That was Dr. Demento. That wasn't Z-Rock.
No, it was played on Z-Rock, though.
Oh.
They used to play it as a little excerpt in between heavy metal songs.
I don't recall it there. Yeah, okay. I do remember Z-Rock, but I thought Dr. Demento is what I think of with all the, like, Weird Al got going there.
That might be. I think that might be him. It's Kinko, the kid-loving clown. If the kids will love me back, I'll never wear a frown. Kinko, Kinko, the kid-loving clown.
And why did that stick in your mind, Brother ADX?
Because that is funny as hell, and it goes right to the Jeffrey Epstein, predates Diddy. Predates, all of that, man.
So you're saying that Kinko the Clown inspired those guys?
Yeah, he's the original pedophile. He's the original kid-loving clown.
Oh, the original. So pedophilia didn't start until the mid-'80s. Well, thank God for that. I thought that it was something that predated modern civilization, but thank goodness.
Well, of course it predated. It goes all the way back, almost 5,000 years. But my thing was he's the first pedophile clown.
Well, and absolutely, if nothing else, he's certainly the first one who put his thoughts to music.
Yeah, you should play that, though. And also, don't forget Brother ADX's song, Stick Yourself, because you can't stick me. I don't trust Fauci, Gates, or the CDC. Available on SoundCloud.
All right, well, good. Well, we'll send everybody there, okay?
Awesome. Talk to you later.
All right, thank you. There's Brother ADX. This Chinese zoo, I don't know if you saw any video or photos from this, but there's a Chinese zoo that's under fire because people are saying that the zoo was trying to put one over on them. And the zoo says, no, if you were paying attention, we told everybody what we were doing. Now, I don't know why they would tell people. I guess maybe just a novelty. But the story was that this Chinese zoo was trying to pass off dogs that they had died as pandas. Did you see any of these photos?
I love that.
These two chow chows, which are a Chinese breed. I would think that if this is a zoo in China, everybody who's there is going to go, those are dogs. And I think some people probably did. But, of course, the clickbait headlines were that there was outrage over imposter pandas that they were trying to pass off.
They may be unbearably adorable, but...
Get it?
They aren't actually bears at all. The latest exhibit at this zoo in eastern China had visitors doing a double take.
Oh, eastern China. That's such an eastern China thing to try to pull.
I mean, I was going to say it, but...
I mean, you go to the north or the west, there's going to be pandas.
Even
Eastern.
the south.
Oh, God, yeah. Chalk another one up for eastern China.
These pandas are really chow chow puppies, advertised as panda dogs, and social media can't get enough of them.
Look quickly, and there's a resemblance to the rare giant panda. Sort of.
But some zoogoers in China aren't happy about what they call a deception. According to Chinese state media, the zoo said it dyed the dogs black and white because they didn't have any pandas. A worker...
See, I love that. You know, when people go, why are zoos around the world so laser focused on pandas getting it on? This is why. Because In the instance you don't have enough pandas, you got to resort to this. You got to make panda dogs. And it's not some Frankenstein Dr. Mengele thing. It's them dyeing dogs to look like pandas.
Little makeover.
Panda dogs. That sounds delicious, actually. They should rename that because panda dogs sounds like something I'd really like to try. Poppy seed bun, sport peppers, dill spear, no ketchup. So it doesn't sound to me like there's outrage. It sounds like they were trying to fill a need. I think people underestimate how zoos really need to change things up to get people to come by. Because you go, oh, cool, they have the panda from wherever. Every zoo's got their hook, right? Oh, we've got the baby giraffe. We've got the hippos in Cincinnati. Cool. But if you don't have pandas at a Chinese zoo, you got to dye your dogs. Simple as that. They call them panda dogs. I think it would have been cooler if they'd put monkeys in panda outfits. You know what I mean? Running around.
Yeah.
Hey, pandas don't have big, long tails that they can pick things up with. Well, what do you want? You know, I was reading a thing this morning that said that people are starting to freak out around the world because all of a sudden the birth rate is plummeting, right? Human babies not being born. Who cares? We already have too many dumb cabbages on the planet.
Yeah, but you need
pandas.
You need the people. You need babies to become adults so they can, be the workforce.
Work in the mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Those are the people that are getting upset. The birth rate's next to nothing. And people are out here in these streets. They're like, okay, fine, whatever. If we could afford to have kids, we would, but we can't, so we won't. But baby pandas, you got to dye some dogs.
Insisted visitors are not being misled and that the fuzzy chow chows are accurately described as dogs. A spokesperson for the zoo tells media outlet Jam Press people also dye their hair. Natural dye can be used on dogs if they have long fur.
Now they know what they're doing, right? They're like, hey, we didn't do anything. We told people these are panda dogs, but that's not a thing. So like, people dye their hair. They know what they're doing. I want to know if they're going to travel. I want to know if any local zoos are going to dye some dogs.
There's groomers that the dog groomers that will they make their whole living because they do this to dogs.
They make them look like different animals.
Like pandas or tigers
yeah.
or they make them all unicorny looking. It's very funny, very cute.
But don't some people get mad at that too?
Yeah, of course.
Well, no,
people get
they
mad at everything.
Like there's
people get mad at everything. People are.
Oh, I thought you meant the owners didn't know. I was
No,
like,
no,
the owners request it.
Yeah, they're paying for it.
No, but there's people that will dye their dog pink or something, and
So
people
what?
seem to get all upset.
Doesn't hurt them.
I think that's right.
Right. Dogs don't care.
I don't know what dogs care about.
Treats.
Treats, yeah.
Snacks, walks,
Treats.
going outside.
Yep, pooping in the yard.
Being called a good boy or good girl.
Yep.
But how do the dogs feel about it?
This is something that's kind of being forced on the animal for the sake of human entertainment.
It isn't the first time a Chinese zoo was mixed up in an animal controversy.
Oh, yeah, this is when they thought the guy was in a bear costume because it was standing on its hind legs.
Last year,
about that.
Angela, a
Yeah.
Malayan sun bear, went viral after it was caught on camera walking on its hind legs. Social media exploded, with some claiming it was a person dressed up as a bear, which was later debunked. Actual pandas are an incredible sight, lovable and playful, helping to boost zoo tourism around the globe. The San Diego Zoo shared pictures of two giant pandas expected to arrive this summer, Yun Chuan and Xin Bao.
So then why aren't these Chinese pandas there in China instead of going to San Diego? I mean, listen, I'd rather be in San Diego than probably Eastern China too, but...
Maybe they don't have the proper care team for them. They need specific...
That's racist, Mary.
No. I mean, experts. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe these pandas are going to be taught to surf.
Also surfing pandas, yes.
You know, the same people who got upset when they wouldn't close down circuses, right? They were like, this is awful to animals. And you could certainly make a case for that. Hey, that bear's not supposed to ride a unicycle. It's terrible. It was the death of circuses. But maybe zoos are the new circuses. Maybe they're very quietly teaching these animals to surf out there in San Diego. Would you go see a surfing panda?
As long as he's safe, yes.
I mean, they've nailed his paws to the surfboard, but other than that.
That's not safe.
Huh?
That's painful. That's not safe.
Well, safe and painful are two different things. A lot of things are painful.
Physically, like they're not being harmed. Safe.
Ah, I see. Okay. Not being harmed at all.
Yeah.
What if they just strap their feet to the surfboard?
As long as it doesn't hurt them.
Sometimes you got to suffer for your art.
Does the bear enjoy surfing?
Yes. Well, they learn to.
Well, if they're having fun.
You know, once bears or any animal is removed from the wild and put in captivity, they have to adapt to a whole different set of circumstances. You take it one further, and they're out there surfing. The trouble is, if you lose one of them to a big, tasty wave.
They can swim.
They can, but, I mean, if they're trying to do a barrel roll.
Dude, bear v. shark.
Yeah.
Who are you taking, a bear or shark?
Land or water?
In the water. The bear is surfing.
Yeah.
A shark and a bear on land.
I'm taking...
Land shark, candy graham.
Water, I'm taking...
Shark.
Shark. Land, I'm taking bear.
No, I'm taking shark in both situations.
Even on land, they can't.
A shark would murder a bear.
Not on land.
Yes.
It only lasts a couple minutes.
You put that bear anywhere near a shark, that shark's only going to need a couple of minutes. You think a panda is going to punch a shark in the nose and that's going to be it?
I think it will.
Well, you might be right. I don't know. But I would pay good money if Cleveland Metro Park Zoo has got a line on any surfing animals. You let me know. You know, people joke about the surfing community in Northeast Ohio, but they're there. Why not induct animals into that fraternity?
A highly anticipated import after 3 giant pandas departed from the Smithsonian Zoo in D.C. last year.
I love them. They're so cute.
Now that panda-sized void even felt across the world, with dogs being used as unlikely stand-ins.
Zoos are there to educate. Zoos are there to inspire. Zoos are to promote conservation. They're not there to promote painting domestic animals with colors to represent wild animals.
Oh, this guy. This poor guy. They're at the Miami Zoo. Listen, as long as they're telling you what's up, you know, like if I go to the zoo and they go, hey, we got a flamingo that's painted up like a camel. I go, cool. Let me see that. I don't know how you paint a flamingo like a camel, but, you know, these zoos, they probably pay really good money to bring pandas over. And if they're just going to be lying around, I can go online for that. I have to see that in person. If they get out there and they're grabbing some tasty waves, then that's, I don't mind that. Oh, but we're talking about, somebody sent me this, but we were talking about Cedar Point, and they finally already shut down Top Thrill Dragster. In the same vein, they clocked a postal worker out there in Sandusky doing 105 because she was racing a Mustang.
In the work van?
Yeah, in the postal van. And then she's got to play dumb when the cop's like, what the hell is going on out here? It's a good thing she was in that postal van, though, because I don't think he was really going to break her balls. If she had been in her own car, obviously, he probably would have carted her off. But he gave her like a $50 ticket. And that was it. A 28-year-old postal worker in Fremont who's in her postal van, middle of the daytime, and just straight from the red light starts racing a Mustang.
That's awesome.
Cop's like, did you know that guy? No. And then you got to, I
just thought it was fun.
Yeah, of course. I thought it would be a good time for me to...
Got a Hemi.
A great time to race my postal vehicle. You wait till they switch them all to electric. You ain't going to be able to do that anymore. That's probably why they want to do it.
Well, you can.
Cut down on the...
Is there a reason you're going over 100?
I didn't realize that I was going that fast.
Yeah. I mean, that Mustang took off. He caught my attention, and then you blew by him. And
I'll tell you what, dude. You're driving a car with one door. you're going to know you're going 105. She's like
Right.
the steering wheel, like the driving is on the right side.
Yeah.
You're going to know you're doing 105 in a 60. But again, if you remove the Top Thrill dragster, this is what you're left with. People have to make their own fun.
We got to get that Need for Speed somehow.
Yes. There's a thrill. It's in the name. There's a thirst.
I didn't realize that I was going that fast.
Yeah. I mean, that Mustang took off. He caught my attention, and then you blew by him, and I was pacing you at like 105.
I shouldn't have gone.
Did you know the person in the Mustang?
No.
Okay.
They were driving around and ridiculous on 590, but...
I kind of assumed when the way they took off and at the light there, because I was right across from you.
Right.
So he saw me coming up behind him, and he did the right thing and stopped or slowed down, and then you continued.
Sir, these are priority packages. They paid for express delivery.
Mm-hmm. We've got to get these to the cargo jet out there at the Sandusky Airport before Kid Rock sets up for the SummerSlam or whatever the hell that thing is. I guess that's
is wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, what's the thing?
Bash on the Bay.
Yeah, there you go. That's Put in Bay, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they got Pitbull this year?
I don't remember who it was.
Huh?
What?
They got Pitbull, yeah, out there. What's happening?
She just said your mom because she's out.
Come home to see Pitbull is what you're saying.
No. I think that'd be a cool show, but no, I'm not going to fly over for that.
What if he does Jones Beach? Will you go out there and see him?
I don't know where that is, but maybe.
Come on, man. Who's not going to want to go see Pitbull?
I would, but
Other
I'm not
than
going
me
to
and-
buy a flight home and
No, you just go out to Nassau County, Jones Beach. You get out there and have some fun. Of course, you're sober. It's probably less fun. A sober Pitbull show is probably a real bore.
I mean, it'll be fun to dance for like 10 minutes, and then it's like, okay, it's hot. I'm sober. All these songs kind of sound the same.
Mm-hmm. They're all collabs. And so when you see him live, it's just him and not the other.
45 seconds of every
Yeah, it's
song.
not the other artist that he did it with who technically made it popular. Postal vans cannot get parking tickets, but can get speeding tickets. I'm surprised one of those could do more than 80. Well, he didn't give her a speeding ticket. But boy, I don't think that I've ever seen. I mean, there's been a postal. When I see the postal truck in my neighborhood, it looks like the guy's really trying to get it to like 25 or 30.
These things are crawling.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to break. You want to get the last word in? Send me a text. 3